Ashley Scott, and today we're talking all about alternative and sustainable solutions to the traditional data center. I'm here today with Malcolm Ferguson. Malcolm, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Great.
Good, good. Malcolm is an HPE Distinguished Technologist, and I thought we could start by having you tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at HPE, and how you kind of got started in IT sustainability and co-location.
Yeah, I actually have a background in co-location. So when I came to HPE, I was a customer for 15 years.
So there are many options for how companies can house their IT infrastructure, from using their own data center to container-based data centers or pods,
Yep.
or also known as prefabricated modules or co-location. Can you tell us a little bit about the benefits for each of those options?
Sure. And we've been in the pod business for a long time. We've actually had very large pod projects over the years to where customers needed very modular facilities at far edge sites and where there were not a data center available. But the co-location side of it, the larger data centers that you can consume as a service, is really the growing industry. What I love to do is tell our company's own story. We used to own 6 Tier 3 data centers. We sold those and moved into 2 co-location sites and started saving tens of millions a year by not being in the data center business. So the fact that we're a reference for using co-location is a very powerful thing. And we cut our data center footprint by 80% by doing that. So it's a great sustainable story as well.
When you talk to companies, what are some of the common challenges that you see organizations face when shifting to prefabricated modules or co-location?
Well, first of all, most of our customers need help with sizing the refresh, right? Because that's also part of the transformation. It's not just transforming their data center strategy, but transforming the infrastructure powering their workloads inside those data centers. So we have a great team that'll come in at no cost to the customer and size a net new refresh of their private clouds, their enterprise analytics platforms, just the standard compute and storage. We can consolidate so much. Also, when we were in the data center business, when we built our own data centers back in 2007 and 8, we bought the consulting firm that was helping us with that, called EYP Mission Critical. Well, we flipped that consulting firm into an advisory service at our company. So not only can we help identify the best colo sites around the world, and with our 3 colo partners, Digital Realty, CyrusOne, and Equinix, we have over 600 sites to pick from. They have pre-built data centers all over the world. So we picked the right ones on the map based on data proximity, data sovereignty, cloud adjacency, but then our advisory team can help design and build out the space, like an architect of a building, like a designer of a building. So that is all included, and most of our customers don't realize that we're a leader in the industry in that space.
One question I had earlier when we were talking was, are there specific sustainability metrics that need to be met before choosing a co-location? Can you talk a little bit about what are the trends and kind of opportunities you're seeing within the co-location space now, particularly in this age of AI, where everything's moving at a fast pace? What is kind of changed from when you first kind of started in this particular business to now?
It's all about more dense cooling requirements. So, you know, there's been a massive build out of data centers over the past 3 or 4 years for, you know, AI and generative AI. And the reality is that the GPUs are running so hot that they're starting to require liquid. Like the latest Blackwell GPUs from NVIDIA are going to end up being required to use liquid to cool them. Now, what is liquid cool versus air? What if your home, which you cool with air, you could convert to a liquid-cooled system and cut your electric bill by 30%. You know, in Texas, that's a big deal. That's a lot of money. These data centers are no different, right? Now, for years, they've been designed to cool for air, meaning all the servers had fans in them, and they needed to pump a bunch of cold air into the front of those servers so the fans cooled the chips inside. Well,
It's a lot of power.
It's a lot of power. If you can take all the fans out of the building, which you do by putting liquid in to cool all the chips, all those spinning fans, you don't need electricity to spin them anymore. You also take out the traditional air cooling systems in the data halls. That's a big cost savings to the co-location provider. So what we're seeing is our co-location partners, who we're advising on this, by the way, a lot of people don't realize out of the top 500 supercomputers on the planet, HPE has 50% of that market. 50% of the top 500 supercomputers on the earth have our logo on them.
That's incredible.
And the top 10 supercomputers, the big boys, 70% have our logo on them. And out of those 70%, they're all 100% liquid cooled. No fans, right? Think about that. It's incredible. So we know what we're talking about when it comes to liquid cooled supercomputers. So we get to advise how to properly build next generation data centers for liquid. And as a result, now it's a more sustainable facility. It's safer. And so, if you look at all the latest supercomputers being built for large language models being developed, whether it's Meta, whether it's X, whether it's Google, they're all moving to liquid. Don't forget, there's still a lot of regular compute and storage that does not need to be liquid cooled. Okay. You don't put a GPU in every single server you deploy. Like if you're deploying a large private cloud, a VMware environment, Hyper-V, Nutanix, none of that needs liquid. If you're doing a VDI environment, you're doing traditional storage. You don't liquid cool your storage. That's all air cooled still. So you've got a hybrid platform running, therefore you need hybrid real estate to power and cool it properly. So yeah, you always get sustainability wins by refreshing old infrastructure, and you can do it cloud first with GreenLake in a new, more sustainable data center, and that's where we can help our customers globally.
When you're working with a customer at the very beginning of their sustainable transformation journey, are you able to actually provide those projections to them on this is what you can expect by the end of these metrics? And are you ever surprised by additional metrics at the end, or?
Well, the sizing will depend. That's another thing. We have tools like Cloud Physics that are our own IP that we can land in the customer's old data center and monitor for a period of time the equipment there. And then we can go use that data, that telemetry data, to size for net new equipment. A lot of our customers are still running our 8th generation or 9th generation servers, for example. We now have a new Gen 12 server. And part of the presentation of the Gen 12 technology is we take a Gen 8 and compare it to a Gen 12. If you have, say, a rack full of Gen 8s, say 10 Gen 8s in a rack, we can cut that down to 1 Gen 12 server because the newer servers have better processing power, more memory capacity, more storage capacity, more bandwidth capacity. So we love to go in and help customers size for a new environment, again, to cut that 10 suitcases down to 1 suitcase so that when you travel, it's not a nightmare.
You almost wonder why would there be pushback? If you can, literally show them this is what you're going from this to this.
Well, some of the pushback is, we're just going to move that to the public cloud, right? And these are non-cloud native applications and workloads. So to me, that's kind of silly, right? You're not being true cloud native. There are a lot of virtual machines running on VMware or other hypervisors. So we always like to just challenge our customers to just give us a chance to go size that same solution in a private cloud, not the public cloud, in a private co-locate that's just for you that no one can go into. You can put it behind your firewalls. No one's going to get to the data. And let us do a price comparison over a 3 or 4 or 5 year term versus all the major public cloud providers. And time after they let us do this, we end up being a lot less expensive. Here's another use case. One of the largest consulting firms on the planet who does a lot of consulting customers to move to the public cloud. I had a chance to challenge their IT leadership to let me tell you about GreenLake with colocation, in addition to how our own company uses colocation, right, as a use case. Because I don't trust any company to try to sell me something unless they do it themselves, right? And so I said, look, we sold our data centers. We got rid of them. We're out of the data center business.
Living proof.
We're using colocation. We started saving tens of millions a year the first year we were in. And I just want to tell you that story. And they said, okay, that sounds super interesting. We have 2 data centers over in the Northeast we want to get out of, build a solution. So we did. We built a new private cloud environment. We priced and sized a whole new private cloud environment. We included one of our colo partners as part of the data center piece. We priced it out. And in the end, they said I can't say the exact number, but we were half the price of the public cloud. And so why wouldn't they do that? Yeah. And they're behind their firewalls, right? They've got these big, giant Juniper firewalls. We're behind them. They have their main core network and security in place. They have their traditional orchestration above our orchestration. So it's a natural fit. And it's their own private cage in these 2 sites. There's no commingling of other customers. It's very secure. And we helped with the migration, and now we're running it for them. It's fully managed up to where they tell us to stop. So it's better than the public cloud. It's safer, it's more secure, it's more sustainable, fully managed. It's a no-brainer to me.
Sure. And you ultimately succeeded, and they moved to the
Yep.
the co-location.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, that is a firm that has nonstop been consulting companies to move into the public cloud. And now that the fact that their own IT is using GreenLake with Colo, it's great.
Sure. So tell me a little bit more about our hybrid cloud managed services with HPE GreenLake.
So we have a hybrid cloud ops control system that is powered by ServiceNow, that when you're a customer of HPE GreenLake, you get this customized dashboard for all things running in the hybrid cloud under GreenLake, including public cloud estate. So it's a very, very mature solution, and customers love it because now they have full visibility of not just their private cloud, but the full hybrid cloud estate.
And within that dashboard, are they able to customize their views or
Yeah.
what they're able?
So they can work with us, and we can customize the different panes of glass and the views on there for various telemetry data. And then they use the GreenLake Cloud platform for seeing how much their utilization of GreenLake is going, right? To where if they start to move into that buffer space, that's another thing about GreenLake a lot of people don't understand. The benefits of GreenLake are this. First of all, you don't over-provision with GreenLake. If you go by 100% capacity, that's over-provisioning because you may only need 80% of that workload. With GreenLake, you only pay for the 80%. But we put the extra 20% there on the floor if and when you need it, up or down. So again, the analogy is it's like buying a new iPhone. You don't just go spend 100% of the money for the iPhone. What if Apple gave you a new phone and you paid for it as a service, and they only used the storage on it that you needed. You only paid for the storage on it that you need. But the extra storage is there if you want to take a bunch of videos on a trip, it's there ready to go. Then you can delete the videos and your price will go down. That's GreenLake. And so also, you don't pay the taxes on the equipment. And the other benefit is,
The
again,
customers don't pay the taxes.
right, because it's our asset. That's
Sure.
another thing people forget about GreenLake is it's our infrastructure. It's like Apple putting iPhones in everybody's hands, and they own the phones, and you just consume it as a service, right? And every 5 years, you can refresh to the new phone as part of that service. And again, you pay for what you use inside the phone. Same with the compute and storage and networking. And we even do it now with GPUs, to where the actual unit of measure can be the GPUs, which again are super expensive. So I can retain cash and not over-provision GPUs, which is the next great workload. That's a huge benefit to the CFO of the company.
Sure. Thank you, Malcolm.
You bet.
This has been very interesting.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us today. Please look out for future sessions where we meet with other IT sustainability function specialists and continue to deep dive into how companies can achieve their sustainability goals.